Hey, would you like to have 5 tips on how to tell your story to your family, a thing that we call legacy planning, how to get your story to your kids and not just your money? All right, tip number 1 is your story matters as much as your money. Lawyers and their clients make the mistake all the time of thinking estate planning is just about the money. But here's the secret. Your family wants to know as much about you as they do want to know about your stuff, right? We need to tell our story. You've been living a great life. We need to record it. Tip number 1 is your story matters. Tip number 2 on legacy planning is that you need to record your story. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. One, you could write it down in a journal. Second, and the way that we like to help our clients is we actually get out our cell phones and record our video of us telling the story. This is why at Seckler Law Firm and with the Red Wagon Club, we partner with Securing Memories, who provide a fantastic framework for how to get your stories recorded and get them to your families. So tip number 2, you need to record it. Tip number 3 for leaving your legacy to your family is that you need a story framework, right? It's kind of like when someone asks you to tell a joke and you can't think of a joke, but if somebody asks you to tell a joke about a dog, you probably have one, right? So you can't just start telling your story because you don't know where to start. So you need a framework. Focus on your childhood, focus on education, focus on love, focus on your career. It really doesn't matter as long as you pick a framework and stick to it. And then that will give you the prompt that you need to be able to tell the story the right way. Tip number 3, you need a framework. All right, tip number 4 on how to leave your story, how to leave your legacy to your family member. Tip number 4 is it's hard, but the hardest one is the first one, right? So when we're talking to our clients about, hey, you need to get in front of a camera and record yourself telling your story, a lot of people feel a little nervous about it. But I can tell you, once you record a story, it gets a lot easier, right? So tip number 4 on how to leave a legacy is just get started, tell one story, and it's gonna make telling the second story a heck of a lot easier. Tip number 5 on how to leave your story to your family member, what we call legacy planning, is we need to have a storage solution, right? So if you record stories on your phone, that doesn't do anybody good until we get those stories to someone else. So you need to pick a storage solution. One of our favorites is a company called Forever.com, where you can upload your videos, you can upload your stories, photos from your phone, and then you can set key contacts within Forever.com to make sure that if something happens to you, your family can actually access that data. So a good story is only one that gets told, and for it to be told, they need to be able to find it. So storage is key. That's tip number 5 for leaving a legacy. All right, so storytelling, leaving your story, leaving your legacy to your family is just as important to them as it is leaving your money. And so I hope you've enjoyed the 5 tips for how to get started in leaving a legacy to your family. If you want to learn more about how we do this at our law firm, check us out at secklerlawfirm.com. Follow us here on YouTube. And the other resources I mentioned during this video was both securingmemories.com and forever.com. So thanks for watching.